Hey, you guys. This is That's a Cold Beer Fact, and this is your host, Jeremy Brown, ready to come to you with all the sports. We have basketball, football, boxing, soccer, all of the above. Anything you can think about dealing with sports, we have it. The football season is wrapping up, the playoffs are right around the corner, and my playoff tree starts off a little like this. The wild card in the AFC, we have Tennessee versus Kansas, uh, Buffalo Bills versus Houston, Texas. Now, who I got coming out of that wild card division is Kansas City and Houston, solely on the quarterbacks. My reasons for them two coming out of that wild card division is solely on the quarterbacks. Now, the second round, we're going to have the division leaders, Ravens versus Kansas. Ravens is going to play Kansas, and the Patriots is going to play Houston. Kansas will beat Baltimore. Kansas is Baltimore kryptonite. I solely think Kansas is Baltimore kryptonite. I'm probably out here on a limb for saying that because what Lamar Jackson and those boys been able to do this whole season. Lamar Jackson's winning the MVP. But what they have been able to do this whole season has been incredible. But when you get to those playoffs, it's a whole different story. And sometimes you got to face your fears. And I don't think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens being able to crack the code of the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So then I got the Patriots beating the Houston Texans. I just think Watson is going to be too nervous. I don't think he's ready for this stage. It's the Patriots still to him, and he's going to make a lot of mistakes, I believe. And I think it's going to come down to who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. And I just think the Patriots are going to make the least amount of mistakes because somehow they always seem to have footage on the other team, no pun intended. And I have Kansas City coming out of the AFC, beating the Patriots, finally getting over that hump. And the Patriots finally getting kicked off that bridge, that high horse that they've been on for so long. Kansas City will come out of the AFC. Now, who I have coming out of the NFC, starting with the wild card, Minnesota versus Green Bay, I have Green Bay. Green Bay is the more disciplined team, and they got the better quarterback behind center, and he make the better decisions. That's all I got. I got Green Bay coming out. Seahawks versus Philly. Of course, I have Seahawks. Philadelphia. Anybody in that division shouldn't even be in the playoffs. That's how bad that division is. The top two teams are Cowboys and Philly, and the top two of them suck. They 7-7 and just terrible records. Terrible records. They're going to go to the playoffs. They're in the playoffs, but they're not getting out the first round. Second round, we have San Francisco versus Green Bay. That's going to be a primetime game. And I have Green Bay coming out of that. I just don't think that's a toss up. I'm just guessing on this game. I'm really just guessing on this game. Either one of these teams can come out. They're so evenly matched. Green Bay got the offense. San Francisco got the defense. Who's going to come out on top? I don't know, but I'm going with Green Bay. And then we have Saints versus the Seahawks. And I have the Saints. The Seahawks, they're a very good team, but they always make that one mistake or that off day, and it's always around the corner. That off day is always on the wrong day. That's why I'm going with the Saints beating the Seahawks to make it to the conference championship. And in the conference championship, we have Green Bay versus the Saints, and of course, the Saints is going to win that game. They have the better coach. The quarterbacks are semi the same, but Drew Brees got more experience. They have the better defense, the better wideouts. I have to just go with the Saints, and the Super Bowl is going to be the Saints versus Kansas City, and the Saints will win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry to tell you that the Saints will win the Super Bowl this year. They just have the better team, the more mature team, the more disciplined team. They feel like the old school Patriots in some type of way. Let's get on to other news in the basketball world. What's going on? Not in the basketball world, but my MVPs. Let's go to who's the MVPs of this NFL season. Lamar Jackson is surely the MVP. But my top MVPs, top 5 MVPs are number 5, Michael Thompson. He's a great wideout tight end on the Saints. He got a lot of yards, and he's doing his thing out there. Number 4, Christian McCaffrey on the Panthers. He's literally carrying that team. The running back. He got like 14 touchdowns, I believe. Chandler Jones on the Arizona Cardinals. He's racked up like 19 sacks. He's the best defensive player out there right now. We need to show our defensive players more love on this MVP board, and I am doing that. Chandler Jones is a freaking beast. If you didn't know, they talking about Nick Bosa and all of them. But Chandler Jones, hands down, every year, put in work, time in and time out, every day. And I'm giving him his credit today. Chandler Jones, you're the man. My number 2 is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson deserves the MVP. He deserves it. But he won't get it because my number 1 is having such a special year that if they don't give it to him, MVP won't mean nothing for the next 10 years. If they don't give it to Lamar Jackson, they have to give it to Lamar Jackson. He's doing it all. He's doing something that we haven't seen before. He's the best quarterback and the best running back in the league. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. He's so elusive. Everybody wants to see him. He's the MVP. He brings in the fans. He brings the money. He's the money man. The worst player of the NFL. Just guess, y'all. The worst player of the NFL. We had a choice between Case Keenum, Andy Dalton, or Mason Rudolph. Andy Dalton threw 15 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Case Keenum, he threw 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Mason Rudolph threw 13 and 9. I chose Mason Rudolph. Hold on. I chose Mason. I know he lost his starting position, but he lost it late in the season. I chose him over Andy Dalton because he lost his starting position. And he only had 13 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. 13 touchdowns. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's a shame. Now, my rookies of the years for the offense, we have Daniel Jones. He beat out Kyle Murray because of he just have more touchdowns. Kyle Murray might have more yards, but he just clearly have more touchdowns, and he just looked like a solid pro. He looked like a pro right now. Kyle Murray got more potential, but he looks like a solid pro right now. So he's my offensive rookie of the year. And my defensive rookie of the year, surprisingly, is not Nick Bosa. He's not the rookie of the year on the defense. My defensive rookie of the year is Devin Bush. He has over 61 tackles. Only one sack, but 61 tackles. Compared to all the other rookies that barely hitting 30. He has 61. Nick Bosa might have 9 sacks, but there are guys who got 10 sacks. But for you to have 61 tackles your rookie season, that's great. That's real good. I commend you for that. So you're my defensive rookie of the year. All right, let's get on the basketball side of things. My Lakers. My. They went from the top of the mountain to down to earth. LeBron James is injured. They say he's suffering a rib injury, and that nagging groin injury is popping back up. Anthony Davis have a tweak again. He's banged up again. They're on a losing streak. This is where things are getting tough and hard. What's next for my Lakers? I don't know. But what I do know, we have to go to the playoffs. I don't want to see LeBron James playing every game this year. I know he's against load management. But please, load manage, please. You're 35 years old. Your body has tons of mileage on it. And I know you put millions and millions of dollars into your body each year. But Father Time is undefeated. And you need to take care of your body until the playoffs. Stop playing 34 to 40 minutes a game, please. Please, LeBron, please. We need you for the playoffs. Please. Couple of rookies to look forward to. Luka Doncic. He's most likely going to be the rookie of the year. We have a guy on the Cavaliers. I forget his name, but it's not really too many rookies to look forward to. We got Luka. We got the guys who's been injured last year. Hold on, was Luka a rookie? Luka was a rookie last year, so we don't have Luka to look forward to. We have Ja Morant to look forward to. Ja Morant. We did have Zion, but Zion got injured playing around with the Pelicans and their NFL staff, medical staff. I bet they still got the NFL medical staff up in there. There shouldn't have been no reason that Zion Williams should have been injured. He should have been playing that first game. But they didn't know how to take care of Zion Williams enough to have him playing in that first game. The best team, the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is the best player in the NBA right now. What this guy is doing, nobody can stop him. His height, he can reach over you. He's aggressive. And his 3-point shot is getting smoother and smoother. He's shooting over 33% from the three. Now you got to play up on him. And when you play up on him, he's going to run past you. If you don't play up on him, he might shoot a three. He's getting the rebounds. He's throwing assists. And he's not making that many mistakes. Minimum mistakes. His kryptonite is Kawhi Leonard. But if he can jump over that, he will be a champion before he retires. Giannis Antetokounmpo has the ability to be the best player to ever play the game. He got the height. He got the motivation. He got the skill set. And he got the talent. Athleticism. And the IQ. James Harden, he don't have the IQ. He can put up a lot of points, but his IQ ain't high enough to win the game. Because towards the end of the game, he will start losing the ball, turning the ball over, making bad shots, just doing ridiculous stuff because he's trying to rush everything to win the game. That's when your IQ really supposed to come into play. When you don't have pressure on you, it's easy to think. When you do have a lot of pressure on you, let's see how you think then. College basketball, James Wiseman decided to just say, forget about the whole thing. They suspended him for 16 games, and he just said, forget about the whole thing. College basketball is being devalued every minute. Who's playing nowadays? Who's in college nowadays? Everybody's going overseas. LaMelo Ball went overseas. This other guy went overseas. Wiseman said, I'm just going to sit out. It's not that important anymore. College basketball is not that important anymore. The players are getting their power back. The power is going back into the players' hands. Because they want to get paid. And it's a new day. We're not just playing just to be playing. Because if we get injured, we might lose our scholarship. Anything might happen to us. So they got to cash out as soon as possible. All right, y'all like, subscribe, and comment. That's it for today's news. I'm out.